Hi, my name is Dinesh Chandrasekhar. I'm 40 years old. I have a wife, Raji, and two kids, Rishi and Tarun. I live in San Jose, and I'm a product marketing manager at a major software company in the Bay Area. And I love photography and stage acting. Yeah, so this was actually at the Shiva Vishnu temple. That's where I saw this drive. There was a table, there were a few people that were conducting this drive. I have to say that I was completely ignorant about the whole thing. So I was a little hesitant about the whole thing at that time because this was like totally new territory to me. I did not know much about what bone marrow donation meant, what stem cell donation meant. So I just said, okay, now let's talk. And we started talking, and then after a while I signed up along with my wife. I was at home. I usually work from home, and I was at home. I got a mail, and I opened the mail. This was from Be The Match, and it was addressed to me. And I was curious because they do send in mails once in a while, but this one had a certain personal flavor to it, so I just started reading about it, and it just said that, we have identified you as a as a donor for this particular recipient that is looking for bone marrow and stem cells. So we would like you to respond back via email or by phone. So I was thrilled, at the same time overwhelmed by this, whole note that came in through, and I immediately called up my wife and I said, hey, this just happened and we need to talk. But I called up the NMDP number, the National Marrow Donor Program number. I called them up and they said, hey, I just got this note and I wanted to talk to somebody and find out what this is about and what the process is. I got routed to one person after another to a person named Fari Sloan. She was there, every time I had a question, I would call her and she would walk me through the whole thing, clarifying, making sure that I felt comfortable. They ordered a kit to a lab, and I had to go to the local lab, do my blood samples and everything, and it was done in an hour. And after that, they came back to me and they said, well, your blood pressures are very high and we cannot go ahead with the donation if the BP is so high. So they asked me to re-verify it at least a couple of times, and I went ahead and did that a few other places, and same result, my BP ended up being high. So they actually called it off. I could not donate, and I was a little bummed about the whole thing. Not little, actually very much bummed about it, because I was excited that here I have this opportunity to help somebody out with their life, and then suddenly this whole thing turned 180 and I cannot do it anymore. And then I went to my doctor, I told him about this, and they prescribed medication, and I started taking medication. The whole thing was off, and almost after 2 months or so, somewhere early 2015, Fari called me again and she said, hey, how's your BP doing? How's your health doing? Are you still open for donation? I'm like, what do you mean? My BP is fine and everything is back to normal, but is this a different patient? Are we doing this for a different patient? Am I a match for somebody else? And she said, no, it's the same person. Unfortunately, we were not able to find an alternate donor. So that was a big moment for me. I said, it's destiny. I got to do this now. There's no going back. So after that, it was bang on. I had to do it, and we went ahead with the process. The procedure itself lasted 5 hours. I was there at Stanford. We did that at Stanford, and the people at Stanford are awesome. They know this thing in and out, and they've done this so many times. So this was so clean in terms of how they executed the process. So I went up there. They put in a needle into one of my arms. This was the peripheral bloodstream stem cell procedure. So I didn't have to do the bone marrow procedure. I did the other one, which is what I was requested. The next day I felt very tired, so I pretty much was in bed. I was taking a rest all day long. Second day I was back to work, it's like nothing happened. And ever since, I've had like no side effects, nothing, I've run at least a couple of 10Ks and working towards a half marathon. So I'm in prime health. I'm like doing fine. So if I can do it, anybody can do it, because I have never done a blood donation in my life. It's something that as a human being, we all should do. I hope this message reaches loud and clear to a lot more people, because the one thing that I found out in all these talks with all these research and everything is that ethnicity definitely matters. And Indian Americans, Indians in general, are very low in terms of being there on the registry. And I see so many cases of Indians being sick with cancer and related diseases. And it is important that we have matching donors available on the registry. So I hope we have more people like that, and not just Indians. I mean, we are other minorities in America as well that need to be on the registry as well, and I hope they all do the same thing as well.